Alrighty, a little late registration. If you're just joining us for the first time, first video, welcome to the Digital Poker Felt. Welcome to the tribe. To really become part of the tribe, make sure you subscribe, click on the likes, the notifications, all that kind of stuff. I'm Fingers, and if you're not new to the channel, you can see that I've chosen and found a new outlet for my poker. A brand new site that I have played on them in the past. It's been many years. I went in and found out I could still... Oh, this loosey-goosey, but I'm under the gun. I'll just limp with this right now. What I really want to do is try and focus on playing GTO, but I'm busy talking to you right at the moment, so this is probably not appropriate for a suited King-Jack under the gun. But again, Digital Poker Felt, here playing a new multi-table tournament, new site, creating new content for you. Oh, that's an ugly. Oh wait, this is showing the actual amount. I thought this site, I'd gone into the settings. And I had set it up. Let's see if I can change this here. Bet sizing. Where does it show where I can change it so that it's only showing the big blinds so I don't have to figure that out? Just bet size to big blinds. I apologize. I thought I had this all set up as of yesterday. Gameplay, whatever. Buy-in, bet sizing. Let's see. Do I have a hand? No. Inverse roll. No. I really thought this site was going to have it so that it would show my stack as far as the size of big blinds. Unless... I don't think this is... Is there a lobby for this thing? There's this view. No. Here's the lobby for it. What is the starting stack? Yeah, the starting stack was around 30,000 or 40,000. Yeah, it must have been 40,000. So, it is totally not doing what I thought I had set everything up for yesterday to get ready for today. I apologize for a sloppy entry to the video. Learn how poker players think about bet sizing. No, I just want you to do what I want you to do. Oh, here it is. Size based on big blinds. Yeah. Alright, it's not doing it. Let's continue forward. Maybe over the next couple days I can figure that out. What are the blinds right now? 250? raise from under the gun and a call. So if we've got 39,000 divided by 250, we've got 156 big blinds right now. So we've got plenty to play with, plenty of time still. But by jumping into this is a multi-table tournament bought in for $2. We're only playing these cheap deep stack tournaments. Nothing outrageous. I'm not multi-tabling and flipping between a bunch of different tables and making it hard for you to keep up. We're going to focus on one table at a time. Just cheap buy-ins, see what we can do with it, see how deep we can go, trying to focus on playing like a GTO strategy, at least pre-flop. I've been known to go off the reservoir and not stick to GTO. I don't know if it's from boredom and I don't have the patience to always stick to a strategy like that, or if it's because I start getting anxious about creating content for you. So with this many big blinds, even though this is offsuit, if he doesn't enter, this is definitely a raising hand from the cutoff, because again, we're missing a seat right here. We become the cutoff. And let's see. This early in the tournament, let's just make it 3 big blinds and see what that does. There you go, we're finally a winner. We're over the starting stack. I don't think I have to look anything up to know that that's a crap hand. And again, speaking of configuring for big blinds and all that, all the setups that I was doing on the site yesterday to try and get prepared for today's recording of the Deep Stack multi-table tournament. I'm hoping that it's showing properly for you. I was having issues with the top guys on the table, their cards displaying, and with as small of a monitor as I have right now, I'm not sure if it's coming through because I can't watch it and this. This is probably kind of loose. Let's just min raise. From a middle position. Yeah, I'm sure this is probably, again, being as deep as we are, this should be probably playable. I just don't want to raise too much from an early position and get re-raised. We're going to be out of position now. But we do have a fairly decent draw. Let's just bet 700 into an open-ended. If he has any, I was going to say if he has any flush draw, any jack, any 10, he should call me there. Again, if you're new to the Digital Poker Felt, I am not a professional player. I do play way more than I should. I'm an unemployed radio guy right now, so I've got a lot of free time on my hands. I've been hitting a lot of the poker rooms. Under the gun, before we get back to about me. Under the gun, that's an offsuit ace. Now, don't play the weak aces up front. A lot of newer players get in the habit of doing that, and that's just a bad habit. Or, well, I guess depending on the type of weak ace you have, even in late position, seeing too many people call with weak aces a raise. An example of that, I was over, again, I'm Fingers living in the Tampa Bay area. I was over at the horse track. They have a poker room. We have a number of poker rooms in the area. So the horse track, I was there, I raised with Ace King in, if I remember correctly, it was like under the gun +1, somewhere in that range on the table. A guy on the button, I don't even think his hand was suited, but he called my raise with an Ace 3 or an Ace 4. The flop came out, totally whiffed me. I 3-barrel bet this whole thing, and he was calling down. Hang on. Basically a min bet. Let's check it to him, see what he does. That's a bad card for us. Just keeps getting worse. Alright. Well, let's put 600 as a blocker bet at least. Oh, I was going to say, if that wins it, that was going to amaze me. Wait, what the heck? This game just started. We're going to have a break already? Alright, well let me wrap up real quick with the hand. What I normally do with these series of videos, for especially the longer form, I typically take a break at the same time as the break on the table. I pause or stop the video, and that becomes video part 1. That way you don't have these 4, 5, 6 hour long videos. I just keep them kind of bite-sized, if you can call an hour a bite-size. I keep them down to about that hour length and create part 1, 2, 3, 4, so you can consume it in your own leisure, and you don't have to just try and sit there and watch 6 hours worth of video. I don't know if that's the better deal or not. You let me know. Let me know your preference on how you'd rather receive these type of videos if you're enjoying it. Would you rather just sit there and then come back to it as a 6 hour long video, or do you prefer part 1, 2, 3 and then having to, again, I create a playlist out of them so you can even keep track of them instead of hunting them down yourself. But getting back to the weak ace, I'm 3-barreling it with an Ace King, missed every single street. The guy calls my bet even on the river with his weak ace because he misread his hand, thinking, I don't remember if he had the 3 or 4, but that one of those 2 cards was out on the board and he had the other one. So if he had the 3, there was a 4 out there, or if he had the Ace 4, there was a 3 out there, and he thought he had a pair and he did not. So on the river, he turns up his hand, yelling out the pair that he thought he had. And obviously we both just had ace high, and of course my Ace King beats his weak ace, and he's so proud of himself, even though he lost the pot, that he read me right, that I had nothing, etc., blah blah blah. And okay, fine, his hand reading abilities on that hand, he seemed to be so proud of himself. A week later, again, still at the horse track, same guy, this time he's on my right. I think I flopped top pair. Not the best kicker. But I'm barreling every single street, betting him. He's calling. The river, I bet, he calls. I turn up top pair, crap kicker. He mucks his hand. I don't see him celebrating that his read was wrong, or going in, or making some big to-do. I think his whole thing is he always puts you on a hand he can beat. And when he's right about it, it verifies his belief system that he's great at hand reading. I think he's just, again, too loose with calling me down, thinking I'm full of crap every single time. And I do think a lot of people get into that habit. Instead of truly hand reading the ranges and stuff like that, they put you on specifically a hand like Ace King. Most common hand that people put you on, it's like Ace King, Ace Queen, and if those cards aren't out there, they keep calling you down. When they're right, their hero call, they sit there and they celebrate about how great they are, but don't realize how much of a piece of crap they are when they're wrong, because they're doing it wrong. There are times you will be bluffed. It happens. But definitely get better at your hand reading instead of just celebrating the times you're right with it. Actually fold the times that you're wrong. And again, he misread his hand. He actually thought he had a pair that first time. Or maybe that's his MO too. Maybe he misreads his hand every time. Alright, 47 seconds back till the cards are in action. Obviously, I wasn't going to stop the video right here for this early of a break. And then have, what was it, 2 or 3 minutes worth of video there as a part 1, and then have an hour long for part 2. So we will stop the video the next time there is a break. If we make it that deep. If we don't donk bet off into an ace on the river next time. And I was pretty sure he did have an ace there. I just, in case my hand was good, or in case he was afraid of the ace, afraid of the deuces, there were certain hands that he might have folded that were worse, but I did expect to be called by an ace if he had finally gotten there. I just wanted to set the tone on how much I was willing to pay to see it. And as I was saying, it's difficult for me to monitor exactly what's being recorded while I'm doing this. So I don't want to try and open up that piece of software and destroy your visual. I don't think Queen 7. Oh, we're actually on the button. Queen 7 offsuit, just outside the range. Again, trying to stick to that GTO pre-flop. Let's see, if it had been Queen 8 offsuit, that would have fallen within the range for a button. Now suited ace, this deep, even without the charts, this is one of those hands that you can make the nuts with. Even though I was telling you don't play them in early position. These guys are new to the table, they're not in the hand. Let's just min raise it for now. That way we get at least a caller, try and grow a pot. Or just take it down and become a winner. Let's not even. 8 deuce offsuit. Those guys are in now. Really wish. Again, I had it set up yesterday where it definitely displayed your stack as a big blind. I gotta figure out what I did wrong. Has to be somewhere in here. Ooh, if I got rid of that setting. Maybe for the, if I use this site again in the future, maybe get rid of this setting and I can actually drag the table out to fill the screen properly. I don't want to mess with it right now. I mean, I'm already, I don't even know if you saw my options that I was holding up. Show chips as number of big blinds. Let's try and undo it. Now put it back. Let's see. Aha! Sorry for the interruption. So now I don't have to do the math. King Jack offsuit. Not good enough. Typically. But again, being this deep, let's... Alright. I told you I don't necessarily stick to the GTO charts. Definitely if we get re-raised, we're gonna dump it though. King Jack looks pretty, but you're beat by almost all the other kings, all the other jacks. See, there you go. I'm not even gonna waste time. Pre-fold. Oh, the other difference with this site versus the other site, and again, I'm not sponsored or paid for or promoting the other site or this site, even though they do display their logos, so it's not like I can hide that from you. I don't advocate playing online. It's what I choose to do. You're a grown adult, at least I hope you are. I did mark these videos that I'm not making them for children. But you, again, it's up to you what you do with your money and your time. I'm a believer in protecting my big blind. Let's just do... There's some draws out there. .72 big blind. See, this makes it so much easier. The other site that I was playing on does not give you the ability to create your stack down to a big blind figure. The other site also allowed me to remain anonymous, whereas this one you actually see what my name is and what all the other players' names are. Let's keep it going at half the pot. I mean, worst case scenario, he has a Jack 10. No. See, if he had raised me there, then it would have been time to throw up in my mouth. Let's see, got moved to a new table. So next hand I'll be back under the gun again. So yeah, originally when I started the series, I liked the other site for the anonymity. But again, I'm putting up a cartoon type face of mine on a lot of the thumbnails and the other imagery for the channel. And unfortunately, the cartoon looks too much like me. So anyone that actually knows me in the Tampa Bay area or has played with me, if they see the cartoon, I think they're pretty sure that they'll know who I am if they, well, if we ever come out from under masks again. Again, let's defend a big blind. That is definitely a big blind range. So he could have a lot of over Broadway type cards there. He could have smaller pairs. We do pick up a gut shot. He could have a flush draw. Well, let's just 3-barrel it and see what happens. Make it look like we got the flush. Because again, in our range we could have been calling with suited cards there in the big blind. Pardon me for a moment, let me take a hit of my Red Bull. Any product placement or mention in this video are not paid product endorsements. Let's just limp. See what happens. He didn't raise, more than likely he doesn't have the ace. Let's represent at least the 10 or the 4. One big blind to try and win 2.4 big blinds. Maybe one of my issues that I think, A, you may not be able to prove it from the last few hands you've watched here, but I don't typically bluff enough. That's what I'm trying to work on. And I'm probably not aggressive enough pre-flop. If you'll notice, I don't put in a lot of 3 bets. And again, if you're unfamiliar with poker, you're just trying to learn and you've stumbled upon this video, a 3-bet would be raising somebody's raise. Going back to terminology from the old limit days. So those are issues that I definitely need to work on my game with. 9-7 suited. Facing a raise from under the gun. +1. Oh, and then a re-raise. So this would be 3-bet, 4-bet. Oh wait, no. 2-bet, 3-bet. I wanted to play that. But it's just getting a little crazy around here. Let's see, the hijack with suited hand, but it definitely would not make the nuts. So no, we won't get goofy there just because it's suited. You will see that a lot more, especially in live play. A lot of the poker rooms locally, they have some promotions, and I use the air quotes around them because the promotions are kind of weak, but you do have the lemmings buy into them. That if the first 5 flushes, or first however many flushes, or full houses, or quads, they come up with these ways to promote you playing almost any combination of hands to make those type of hands to win usually an entry into another tournament. And a lot of times the entries they're giving you as prizes really aren't worth it. Still losing my voice. This would be great for a video series. The guy loses his voice early on in the first video, and then the rest of the parts, if we go deep, just silence. Just watch. Yeah, sign language would not work on a video. Well, I guess unless I started displaying myself. And again, coming out of the audio world, radio, I'm so much more comfortable and used to just speaking. I hate visual being on, and I don't think you really care what I look like or my facial expression. It's about the cards here. It's about the strategy. At least that's from my perspective what I would care about. Getting back to this is a $2.20 entry multi-table with an $800 guaranteed prize pool. So it wasn't outlandish, it wasn't like 4,000 or whatever. But for the first video I made on this site, I just wanted to jump in, keep it simple. I thought starting out with 40,000 as your stack was a decent amount. And the blinds are running, if I remember correctly from the info when I first entered, it was like 12 minutes. So 12 minutes in the online world, as fast as they deal out cards and people act, I thought the whole structure sounded fairly good just for a $2. Now again, this is probably where I'll go off the reservation. He's raising from under the gun. Yeah, this is getting worse by the second. I do have Broadway type possibilities, but we gotta play it careful here. So this could be like the best or worst possible flop. Now the small blind wakes up with a 5. This guy Ken over here should slow down a little bit. If you have the best hand, more than likely you'll still have it on the river. But if the small blind or big blind had a 5, yeah, there you go. Okay, ace is up with a 10 as my kicker. He definitely could have that 5 or a 3. More often than not the 5. But I'll at least call. Oh, he was bluffing with the 4. See, if he'd made a full pot-sized bet, I don't know if I could have called. Or maybe I'm just that bad. Alright, ace 6, not suited. But again, let's just make it 8 big blinds as a re-raise. Take the aggression away from him. I have the ace as a blocker. Let's just check that. I'm either way ahead or way behind. Might actually give up here if he continues to barrel. Check call. See, this is one of those instances where I probably am being bluffed, but just not liking the heat. It would have been too easy for him to have a better ace or a jack there. Then again, he could have pulled that off with pocket 10s, pocket 8s, pocket 9s. If he thought I didn't have an ace or a jack. There's so many hands there. Even king queen, he could have kept barreling me and putting me in the I don't know land. I really don't know why people stall this early in a tournament. Unless he lost his connection. Oh wow, the site allows me to actually see. Oh, he was Brazilian too. That's even more likely I was bluffed. Brazil to me is kind of like the Western Hemisphere's Norway. All those Viking type countries, they just continue to just barrel with any 2 napkins. Oh, he's back. 2.3. Does it allow? No, it doesn't. Let's just raise it up 2 big blinds then. Thought it was going to allow me to do fractions there. Not facing a raise. If I were allowed to be the first one in the pot, I would have raised with that from my position. that position, Jack 8 suited would be the lowest of a Jack you should probably raise with. Let me check out the note keeping abilities. This guy's from Brazil. Aha. What are my options down here for notes? Alright, if he's from Brazil. Do I have to type something in for it to keep? Aha, I can just color code. So, going back to the old days of the internet, or I should say online poker, going back to like a Poker Stars or Full Tilt, what I used to do is, instead of just keeping these elaborate notes, a lot of times, oh, I don't want to copy anything. Oh, here we go. A lot of times, what I would do, yeah, there we go. I don't even have to put a word in there. I would color code the good, the bad, but a lot of times also the foreign. Because like I was saying, Brazilians are a little more aggressive and wild. Kind of like all the northeastern, the northern European. They've got almost like that Viking aggression. Just give them any two cards and they just get in there and mix it up. Actually, my color code for Russians, what did it used to be? I think I used to just mark them as green and assume they were good unless otherwise proven wrong. Again, I'm generalizing, stereotypical here. I apologize. In this cancel culture world we live in now, if you can't handle that. Again, even if you go into radio, everything, or not just radio, television, magazines, any type of advertising, things get put into demographics. You do generalize. So typically in my mind, and from my experience, Russians, Germans seem to lean better, immediately on the good side, the better side, understanding the math a little bit better. Like I said, the Brazilians, and defending with a weak ace here. Let's not get ourselves into trouble again, nor interrupt what I was saying. So in my mind, I just started categorizing different countries based on even regions of the US. Like I always took Californians to be a more aggressive area than Florida, where I grew up, where I live. Let's limp suited cards, and again, keep the pots small. Oh, well, he wants to play aggressive. We do have the gut shot and a backdoor flush draw. What I was going to say is that Australians reminded me of Californians, so to me, Australia is the California of the world. And I hit it. Let's see if he keeps up his aggression. You should not be able to see this hand coming. Let's raise it up. Now, Maybe I should have just called, but I really don't think he was going to bet again on the river. Too many cards would have come off that might have scared him, unless he hit perfect gin and whatever card he had. Let's say he had an ace 10 there or something, maybe an ace came off. Maybe he'd bet one more time or call our bet. But I figure that was our best time right there to try and get any more money out of him if he was chasing something too. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong in that hand, or in any of the hands that you've been watching me play, if you disagree with the decisions I've been making, please leave a comment down below. Just pile on with any of the comments. Again, I want to grow it as the Digital Poker Felt Tribe. Become part of it, subscribe, leave your comments, and hopefully, not just for myself, maybe as a community, we can come together and discuss hands, whether I played them here or hands possibly that you've played online or in person. Throw them out there and allow us all to kind of dissect it. This one, don't discuss this hand because I really probably should not be in here at all. As far as GTO strategy goes, this is more than likely way off any type of grid. And I think I was possessed by the devil to even play it. And now, unfortunately, it looks like too sweet of a flop for me. And he's betting over 5 big blinds into almost 10. Alright, let's peel. Would he put me on an 8 with a flush draw out there, straight draw out there? Would I just call? So more than likely I'm almost playing my hand face up, and if he's got a better flush draw. Now I whiffed. The only way to win is to bet it. Let's bet 25 big blinds, see if he'll... Oh. What did he have? Yeah, pocket tens. See? The devil made me do it. Alright. He was the one that raised last time. Let's just raise it up. He saw me bluffing last hand. So this is probably even more ludicrous to do this. What is he? Under the gun +1. Yeah, this is way off the charts. Even suited. No, actually this falls into, there's a small percentage of the time you should raise with it. But definitely calling a raise with it is good enough. Why did it have to be that card? Maybe I should have bluffed the ace, but again, they saw me bluffing before. Less likely I have an ace now by the river because of the 2 aces out there. But if he's raising it up with his small pairs again, I mean, not the 10's that small. Could I put in a value bet? Alright, this might be foolish. Where is he from? Ah, he's US. That doesn't narrow it down to me enough on what kind of style he plays. So yeah, let's get back to color coding. Let's mark him for green for now, that he's good. He faced a raise and a re-raise and called. mark him as at least orange. He's not necessarily bad, but he's not necessarily good either. I mean, if you wanted to... I'm just going to take the word Brazil out of there. I don't need that flashing up in my face every time I hover over him. I just need the color codes. And typically what I would do, getting back to the color coding, green to me means that they're a good player and treat them as such. Yellow is kind of average. Red is almost terrible. Red will call almost anything. They're like your ATMs, but at the same time you can't bluff them. Just, you know. Oh wait, pocket pair from middle position. Or actually we're cut off, hijack, low jack. Oh, we're first in with fours? There is a small percentage of the time. Oh, that's with a raise. If we were first in, oh yeah, we'd need to definitely raise this. But we're also facing, and as far as this, what was he, the Russian? No, he's United States. Oh, I didn't put a color on him. I thought he had a blue on him. Alright, let's represent. Let's slow down. Oh, let's get there. Let's make a bigger bet so he thinks that maybe I missed a flush draw. He did call me before on that bluff. There we go. Wait, it changed back to... How did it change back to the stack size instead of the big blinds? I didn't even notice that. Do I have to adjust it every time they move me to a new table? Raise from the cutoff. But I also have a limper under the gun. Oh well, they're at least connected. Let's see what happens. Yeah, even the pot's looking as a number again instead of a big blinds. Let's peel one. Playing these hands out of position, that's how I get myself into trouble. I catch just enough of it. Well, gut shot now. Let's represent the 8-9 or 2 pair. And we don't get there. Let's just check and give up. Alright, let's get back to those settings again. Show chips as number, yeah. Apply. Could it be that it switched back this time as I change tables because I keep making this adjustment while in play? That's the only thing I can assume. Again, if you're more familiar with this card room, this software, again, please leave me a comment down below. Help me out with this. What am I doing wrong that it's not keeping the stats to what I'm setting them up in the preferences? Please and thank you ahead of time. And sorry for annoying you with the little pop-up menu setting option thing. Let's see, while we're waiting, let's, as far as pop-up menu, how many people are in this thing? Let's see, entrance 94 so far, remaining 83. Registration still going. First place for my $2, I could win over 200. Let's not focus so much on that right now. And let's try and get there at least to the final table. As I've said in previous videos, getting your money into these sites, I was able to. When the day comes, if I ever want to get it out, that's going to be the other issue, that I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Let's see, he's foreign country, let's mark him as blue. Again, Russian. Let's just immediately assume he's good for now. Canada, again, seems to be almost more like a California, but it could vary. Let's just mark them as average for now until, again, they prove me otherwise. Ukraine will treat them the same as a Russian. Give him a good marking for now. Where are we? We're the cutoff. Facing a raise. From under the gun. But again, he's a blue guy. No. Even though he's blue. Well, again, that's an area where I probably could have gone off the charts some, because facing, what was he again? Yeah, Brazilian. He's sure to be barreling like crazy. Oh, and he proves me wrong. Ugh. All I had to do was call. But as I said, I'm trying to stick to the GTO strategy, stick to the charts at least pre-flop. I don't have any solver or HUDs going post-flop. So now we got the blue guy in the big blind. And where was he? Is he Brazilian too? Yeah. The Russian called. Let's just mark him as average for now. For calling that raise and then not taking advantage of being checked to on that flop. Canada is yellow. Yeah, there we go. Don't have any reds yet. Some of these Brazils could definitely turn red if I start seeing some of their hands, seeing their ranges. They're raising from early position and barreling. So I guess a red in that category would be just Maniac, not necessarily ATM. Sorry for the silence, I was just paying attention to see how this plays out. Oh. This guy might be a little more dangerous than your average blue. And he's back up to my stack. We're still at 80 big blinds though, so we're not in trouble yet. Yeah, the weird part about playing this game right now online is that the last few days I was tired of playing poker, so I'm taking a break from poker. So during my break from poker, what do? I go online and I play poker. Yeah, probably not the healthiest options. That's almost on the chart. It's so borderline, I don't think it'd be that bad to go off chart. Well, now I will choose not to go off chart. Blue, yellow, blue, yellow. Wait, he's down to 9 big blinds already? Yeah, if I'd gotten in there, I would have some options. We could sit there and dissect what could have been. Be that guy. Alright, so he did not take the lead that time that it was checked to him, but this time he does with multi-guys, multi-way pot. He calls, well, this is Brazilian again. Like I said, they could go full Maniac at any moment. On a wet board like that, he's out of position. So he could have 2 pairs there, he could have the flush draw, he could have hidden baby sets. Well, if you're gonna bet like that, you gotta shove it now. There you go. Oh, and he got there. And I would have hit my pair on the turn and my flush on the river if we're going back over that guy. Playing the what if. So what did he have? He had middle pair with a not great kicker. He had the jack going with his 5, and he had a backdoor flush draw. And he overreacted with that board. But even if he had called, this guy would have hit his set on the turn and it would have become more insane. So he was betting 7s with only 9 as the overcard. So leaving a yellow on him as just being average, that's not good or bad. Let's just still be somewhat leery of him. We don't have to worry about that one Brazilian guy. Green versus green. That's all kind of wet. Straight draw, flush draws. Betting over 3.5 big blinds into 8.35. Easy fold here. But as I was saying earlier, the blind's running 12 minutes for this tournament. In some ways, this almost feels like too long. Because again, the action online usually happens so much faster. This feels like, at least in my opinion, it feels like it's dragging. I'm used to much faster blinds in the online world. But I have turned off, as far as preferences, I think I've, well, if it keeps my settings on that, it hasn't been keeping my settings on the other stuff. I turned off the turbos, the hyper turbos, those things that just turn this game into total Yahtzee bingo. So giving a little room to play. Still 80 big blinds. Blinds right now are 250-500 with an ante of 25. What did I have here? I would have had 2 pair on the flop. Yep. Possible flush out there, possible straight. We got green versus yellow. But yellow has the chip lead over him. Betting 6 into 11. Oh sure, leave me vulnerable out here, take away the small blind. Still saying the Portugal guy's sitting there and he's not. Well, the Canadian guy is disproving my whole California aggression. Because again, yeah, Canada is... most Canadians are somewhat, not quite Australian Californian, but they do have a little more aggression to them. Let's bet the gut shot. There we go. Again, those little baby cards fit my range much better than even his limping range. I mean, he could have had a 6-7, 5-7. He could have limped in though with, well, let's think. Baby cards that were pairs, like 3s, 4s. So he might lose his yellow if he keeps limping. That's just way too passive. This actually, if he bets it, this is actually a pretty good... Oh, I was going to say that was a good area for a check raise. Yeah. Now I hurt myself. Now we're down to 60 big blinds. That was fast. But we have the button. I should have started off with betting it when I thought I could have won it with the paired board. Let's see. Try and isolate. There we go. Three chops it. Yep. There we took the big blinds. Is it gonna shove again? Yeah. Well, let me do a fraction that time. Interesting. And he was the passive Canadian. Because I've been playing everything else passively, that's the only reason why I laid that down. Otherwise, he could have been raising with almost anything there from the small blind, thinking I'm just making a position raise. Probably going to have a break coming up here soon. And again, to reiterate what I said earlier, I will be stopping the video upon the break and then resuming in at part 2 to try and keep these videos a little more manageable. Again, for your consumption mainly, but I've found it also helps me out as far as rendering them down to upload. There were some videos, not with this poker series, but some other videos I made once a while ago that were approximately 3 hours long, and some of them trying to upload to YouTube, it was like, rendering it down was almost an overnight affair. Then the next day, uploading them took another day, so it just slows the whole thing down. Did we get moved to a new table? No, we just have some new players. Why are they both limping from... No, that's not allowable. Let's stop limping on this table. I want better definition of where you're at. Of course, Brazil comes along. He might reshove. Not that he's going to be able to get a fold from me with his stack. So it was good enough to limp call a 5 big blind raise. Multi-way with that flop. Let's keep it small. they have some small pairs, they'll probably come along. Anybody with a jack will come along. Flush draw. We do have a backdoor flush draw, second nuts. Brazil comes along for that. Maybe we won't need a part 2. Maybe here's where I go broke. And do you think he actually has the flush? Could my king be good here? Alright, this is terrible. But I'll call him, he's Brazilian. Oh, he's got the 5s. And sure enough, should I stop like I was planning and give you a part 2, or just continue on for the simple fact that I only have 7 big blinds and this will probably not last much longer anyway? Real quick, let's look at the lobby, see how many players are left. Remaining 93. I don't know if this actually has unlimited re-entry, so if I really wanted to, I could re-enter this tournament. So yeah, tell you what, right now I will stop the video. We'll do a part 2. We'll decide whether or not we want to re-enter the tournament if we go bust with our less than 7 big blinds. You're watching the Digital Poker Felt. I'm Fingers. Just a reminder, last one on this video. Again, I'm sure I'll remind you again next video. But subscribe, like, and please leave your comments, notifications, clicking on that bell. That's up to you. See you in part 2.